Okay, so this is our third coffee hour talk. It's nothing formal. It's not like the regular call. It's just a way for all of us to get together, talk, chit chat, come up with ideas. I don't know, just because of the fact that we are spread all over the place, it's so nice to connect. Because somebody asked me, a new coach asked me the other day, she's like, well, where's all your team at? I'm like, everywhere. A lot of them are in Northern California, just because obviously that's where I'm from. But some in Texas and just all over the place. So it's so nice to be able to connect and see each other's face and see how they're doing. Amanda, so tell us how the expo went that you did the other day. I mean, I saw it and you told me, but.
Hello.
Hello. You had to go outside.
I totally did. You said something about lunch. Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
So how'd your thing go the other day? Is this going to be a weekly thing that you're doing?
No, it was, it's an annual thing in my town.
Oh, okay. Well,
all I can see is a big blue button now.
A what?
Oh, I figured it out. Sorry. Okay. They do it every year, and like 3 years ago I went looking for a job and there was like 10 booths, and I went this year this year I had a booth. I was waitlisted, and at the last minute a fast food place pulled out and I got it.
How ironic.
And yeah. So there was 11 booths more than last year. The whole college gym was completely full, and even though it rained, a lot of people came out, and I think we had about 80% actually stop by our booth. But wow. They encouraged by having these forms that if you go around to every booth and get the person to initial it, you get a little prize.
Oh, I've seen that happen. That's cool.
Yeah, I did a little raffle for a Shakeology sampler, and I ended up with 40 entries, and 31 of them had email addresses.
That's great. That's one thing that I did a call, I think last year really helped me grow my contact list. And, it's a good thing too, that in coaching, you do have to, you have the ability to do it and you don't have to, but where I was going with business, I knew I needed to get better at face-to-face with people and public speaking. And so those types of encounters are definitely, make you step out of your comfort zone. Chris Lewis joined a local B&I group. This is something that we were talking about with the brand consultant that we're working with. And so you might check in your area, guys, but it's a B&I business network, something, I don't know, they have a website. So there's different chapters all across the United States. It gives you a chance to go in, and it's basically a referral system. You do have to pay annually, so it's one of those things that you kind of have to look at, how much you want to spend for marketing and where you're at in your business. It may not be something that you want to look into or do now, but something in the future. It's really great because it's a great way for you. You don't go in there to sell to these people. You go in to build relationships with them. So number one, gets you kind of out of your comfort zone, talking to strangers. It helps you perfect your elevator pitch, which basically I call that like a 2 to 3 minute pitch about your story, why you're here, what your results have been, like blah, 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 so that you don't just ramble on and on when you talk to somebody. And then they send people to you for referrals, and you do the same thing. And Jamie O'Rear, she's the one who got us in touch with this brand consultant. She's been part of the B&I group, and she has had lots of success with these groups. So Chris Lewis just joined the one in Bryan College Station. She beat me to the punch. She called them first, and I waited a couple days, and so she started that chapter. So I'm looking into some Austin and Houston ones because of the fact that it helps you grow your market. But one thing that I suggest for a lot of people too is doing what Amanda did, that, depending on what you're wanting to do with this business, is look around to see if there's any local fairs, any job expos, health and wellness fairs in your area, and get on that. Last year I did the one at the college, and then when I did that, I was able to do it at 2 campuses both in College Station and here in Brenham. And then I met somebody who told me about another expo that was a couple months later. And then the cool thing about it is they emailed me again this year and asked if I wanted to redo it as a vendor. So I'm hoping that is the same thing for you, Amanda, is that they'll keep you on the list and every year contact you. But it's a great way to just get exposure. And, I always tell everyone that whenever you're on social media, whenever you're posting about that Super Saturday or, running these booths or anything, it really it stands out and people say like, oh, this is somebody who's really serious about their business. So that's something I definitely suggest. We had this thing called Walk in the Park with Doc here in Brenham, where basically the two doctors at the clinic partnered up with the city, and they do the third Saturday of every month. They meet up at the park, and last year I wanted to get in on it, and obviously last year was not a good year for me. So I finally called yesterday, and I asked them, what goes on, and because all it was a flyer and there wasn't a lot of information, but they basically said you meet up, they have little speakers, like nutritionists or dietitians or something that talk for about 3 to 5 minutes, they serve coffee, they serve granola bars. So I'm just thinking like, God, I'm sure the granola bars are like, something that they sell there. That I saw some the other day at the same doctor's office. It was like full of like artificial crap. But anyways, then they all walk around for 30 minutes around this track and they talk to the doctors. There's no copay. You can ask questions and it gives you a chance. So I thought the number one, I'm going to start showing up to those things the third Saturdays of the month, because that is going to be a way for me to meet more people in the community that might not have a Facebook or might not know about me. And then the fact that is great once a month for people. However, what about the rest of the month? So look in your community to see what types of things they have. And even if you don't have something like that in your community, it could be something that you could start up that, let's do a community meet up and do a 30-minute walk and just talk and hang out. That's actually how Amber Scott grew her fit club whenever she lived in Southern California, because she was extremely overweight and she couldn't do the workouts. And so she had an audience of people that were extremely overweight as well. So they just walked together, and then that's how she grew it. And then eventually, as they lost weight and, moved forward on their fitness journey, they started doing, some of the workouts at their fit club. So I thought that was interesting.
Can I say one more thing? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, so our little town has just the regular old Chamber of Commerce. And if you are an individual, it's only like $35 to join. So I think everyone should look into it, because you never know.
Oh, I didn't know either.
Yeah, you can totally join, just like I joined as Amanda Rachel Wellness. So
I'm going to put that on my list to do. That's why I like these calls. You can just swap ideas. So the Chamber of Commerce. Cool. For me, I did an expo. They did last December of 2014. Jamie Lynn Royer and we did an expo here in Brenham. It was like a holiday one. And I will say I sold a few trial packs. We signed 2 customers during the time. So it was definitely, it wasn't like it was not worth it. It was great to have the exposure, but then it was one of those things you really have to look at the productivity for it. And so I opted out this last year in 2015, and I won't do it this year because really it's Christmas time. People were walking by, sampling all the cookies and candies and jams and jellies, and they were thinking about Christmas and not fitness. So, it's one of those things that it's always worth trying something, but you definitely want to look and see, like, is this worth my time? What did this pan out financially? I have no regrets about that, but I just know I wasn't going to do it again. Recap for everybody that was on the call last night. I don't know if you got it. We talked about something that Lauren Majewski talked about on one of our corporate calls, and that is CCQ, and that is making a point daily to comment on a friend's post or picture, like that same friend's post or picture, and then ask a question on one of their posts or pictures. So that way you are going to be showing up in their news feed and vice versa. It's a way for you to communicate. It's a way for you to show interest. It's a way for you to get to know your people, so that, if you don't, like I said last night, if you don't know somebody's lifestyle, if you don't know what's going on in their life, then it's really hard to pitch Beachbody or a challenge group to them because, you know, you don't know anything about their life. It may not fit in. And there's a lot of people that I've talked to recently who I didn't know what was going on that have said, oh, this and this, you know, has been going on behind the scenes, and they didn't post on about Facebook, but it wasn't the right time for them. So, you know, try to at least do your due diligence of getting to know somebody's interests and lifestyle, you know, before you start inviting them, blasting them. But that's just a good way to get done. And it seems less scary than like cold inviting, but once you started to do that, it makes it easier to break into the invitation. Did anybody have anything that they're struggling with this week, today? Any victories we want to celebrate? Dana, you've been doing amazing stuff, so speak up.
I'm sorry, I stepped out to get something for my phone and I missed it. What happened?
Oh, no, I was asking if anybody had any questions or comments or victories or anything that they want to talk about, because this isn't just for me to talk. I just want to know what everybody's doing, how I can help you. I know you've been doing some awesome stuff.
Yeah, I'm still inviting and working and trying to get people. I think the Chamber of Commerce thing is excellent. I had applied for my local chamber, and they keep saying, oh yeah, come join our like 7 o'clock meeting, and I'm like, I can't bring my kids at 7 o'clock. So
to bring our kids at 7 o'clock.
No, heck no. It's like the last thing. So I'm like, oh, see what else I can do. But yeah, I think the Chamber of Commerce is pretty cool. And I have a friend who's a consultant for a different company. She came by. We're talking. I'm going to try to get her in on a challenge pack. And she's like, oh yeah, you live in a pretty, nice neighborhood. And I'm like, yeah, it's okay. But, if you go down the certain street, it's like really nice. And she's like, really? She's like, oh, I want to come. And, cause she's like for a cleaning company. She's like, oh, I want to come and knock on doors and hand out flyers and business cards. And I'm like, shoot, I should go with you, because I've been thinking about doing that myself. So I think we're going to do that. When we have to figure it out. But yeah, I think that would be cool.
That's a good idea. One thing that the brand consultant that we've been talking to talks about is having power partners. And that's basically you identify people who have the same audience, but don't offer the same service as you. And that you reach out to them and say, let's do a referral. And I'm big on word of mouth and referral, because you'll see me on Facebook be like, so-and-so here, they're great. And I asked a question about Miriam the other day, and I had like 500 people attack that post. And if I ever order, I know exactly who I'll order through, because I like her professionalism, and I'll pay it forward and tell people. But I started thinking about it, and so I have a new coach. And if you actually wanted to pay it forward, comment on her post, because I'm tagged in it. Martha Lee, she is somebody, it made me go to her the other day, and I said, hey, why don't you have this huge influx of people coming in through your doors, because and they're at your disposal for like 30 minutes to a couple hours, depending on what hair service they have. I said, you might think about having your Shakeology cup out, or ordering some trifold brochures, because you can get like 25 of them for $5.95 or something. And I said, because she's lost 25 pounds and she stayed on track. And so I said, people are going to notice this. Like her face-to-face pictures are like totally drastic. And then she's like, oh, okay. And then I asked her too, and this is something you might consider or keep in your head for the future, is that, people have great transformations, but they're scared to share it. I remember Rob and we talked about that the other day, about how scary it was. That first post I was thinking about today was Melissa Bardo's 4-year anniversary. I remember how, I told her, you need to post it. And it was a little different because we were like best friends. I'm like, you need to do it. But it was like terrifying for her. Sam Thornton, she was terrified. She let me post it for her. And she literally put her phone down, shut off Facebook, and then get on to the next day. So, some of these people do that. And so when you put them on the spot, it's kind of scary. But what I started doing, and I saw it in a group, somebody used this verbiage, is I asked her the other day, I said, could I, I love your transformation, and this was after the conversation about, using her hair salon as a way to talk to people. Anyways, I said, I'd like to use you as a success story and a coach spotlight tomorrow. Would you mind if I did that? And she said, yeah. And so she said, I'm going to get your pictures, blah, 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 blah. Well, then I get done with my power hour this morning, check my messages, and she was like, screenshot what she had already posted, and was like, oh my God, all these people have said something. So if you're having trouble with some of your challengers, I totally believe that you can ask the same question or respond in the same way, saying the same exact thing, but just the way you word it can make all the difference, just like tone can. So anyway, she was excited, and now, she's been messaging me like, what do I do? What do I say? And I've been helping her. That's one thing, like I always tell coaches, if you're a brand new coach and you don't know what to say, I will do my best to help you get started, or, do a group message so you can see what I say, because I remember in the beginning as a coach, it was terrifying because I actually gave too much information to people where it was overwhelmed them and scared them. But anyways, those are just some ideas that I suggested. It helped me with one of my personally sponsored coaches who's now, getting a lot of traction. And I think that it is going to definitely boost her confidence, because she didn't think anybody would respond, let alone as many people as she did. And so now she may be a little more open in her salon, but that could be something that you guys could do, because, if you want to stay in this business, you're going to have to expand, because you're going to run out of your friends and your family and the people in your community. You can rely on social media, but it does limit you too. And so many people talk about how, before the internet, before phones, there were people who grew successful businesses in Tupperware and Melaleuca and all this stuff, and they had to go face to face. We've gotten pretty spoiled technology wise, but that could be something that you bring up to your doctor's office, to your hairdresser, because I think the hairdresser is the best people for us women, because there's other women going in there to get their hair done, so they care about beauty. The two go hand in hand. And then they're stuck there. And I think that all of us know that when you're sitting there getting your hair done, the hairdresser is always asking questions, and you end up gossiping or telling your whole life story because you're just sitting there, and it's better than awkward silence. So it's a great way you can hear people talking about stuff, and that would be a great, opportunity for somebody to, be complaining about their weight, or that they're going on this vacation, and then that person, if you have a relationship with them and a referral partnership, they can be like, I can sympathize with you. I have a friend, blah, blah, blah. Why don't you get, here's our information or something. But anyways, I thought that was interesting. Definitely. I'm going to, I wouldn't go schedule a doctor's appointment just to hit up your doctor, but next time you're with your doctor, talk to them, look at everybody as a referral. I bought the essential oils back in 2014. I hit up those girls, a 31 rep here in town. She just sent me this message in my inbox. It was just a picture of a flyer. And that was it. But I used it as an opportunity to bring up, like, hey, do you want to partner together and do like a girls' night? That way, I can get, in front of her audience. And so that just always look at the fact that there's other people out there who may have the same audience, and that you can trade back and forth, but it's definitely a give or take that you want to send people that way. The essential oil people said that we're going to work on doing like an online little training about essential oils and nutrition together. So that was something that we were doing. It didn't hurt to ask, and then I thought, oh well, while I'm here and I have the balls, I asked this one girl, I'm like, oh, so you just had a baby, would you like to start my challenge group? And then she was like, oh, I would have loved to, but so-and-so just hit me up 2 months ago and I got started with her. So the moral of the story that I will say over and over and over and over again in this business is you definitely can't procrastinate. You got to be on the ball. Like I said, Chris Lewis called right away to the local BNI that's literally like 25 minutes from my house and like 40 minutes from her house, and she got it. So now I have to go to a BNI that's an hour and a half, 2 hours away. So definitely don't procrastinate on these things, because time can really screw you. Hey, Leslie, how are you this week? Am I frozen or is she frozen? Okay. Melissa, do you have anything to add or share or discuss? Hold on. I think you're muted. I'm going to unmute you. Okay. What?
Oh, I was saying, sorry, I'm off. I'm like having weird arm issues, so I'm like having to do weird things to straighten my hair because my arthritis is flamed up, and I think it's, somebody messaged me and they said it's probably because of the Ultimate Reset, because it's causing inflammatories and it like mixes up the toxins in your body.
Yeah.
So it's really weird. Like yesterday I couldn't walk. But I'm pushing through it and I love it. But one thing I did with my team this morning is I've been thinking a lot about, I mean, I don't know if this is where you guys are, or I'm running several groups right now where I feel like I'm talking to myself. And so this morning I put something in there and I said, hey, who's still with me? Because there's a lot of time that goes into these calls, right? And then I look at the cancellations that have been coming through, and Mindy, I even reached out to you and I was like, man, is April notoriously like a weird month? And I just started thinking about fear and how it freezes people and how they're like so afraid of putting themselves out there. And then I started thinking about education and how we push past that. And I listened to Carl's welcome call, and if you guys haven't listened to it, he's just talking about the 4 vital behaviors. And so I did a live team call in my team page this morning, and all we did was talk about the 4 vital behaviors and what that means. And instead of invite, it's just attract, connect, and invite. Because if we're attracting the right people and we're painting a picture to help them connect to what we're doing, there shouldn't be any reason that we feel uncomfortable in inviting. And if you're being proof that the product works and incorporating personal development, whether that be watching a movie that talks about, like, I think The Pursuit of Happiness is a great movie to recommend for somebody who says, well, I struggle with personal development. Go out and watch The Pursuit of Happiness. What do you want? What are your key components that you took from that? Come back and let's talk about it. Or like I talk to busy moms, they're like, oh, I don't have time to do personal development. Well, do you do laundry? Do you cook? Do you drive and do pickup times? Because I know that's all the times that I'm squeezing in my personal development. And then the last part is recognition and finding people are like, well, I'm a new coach. I don't have anything to celebrate. I don't have anyone on my team. Celebrate your peers. Celebrate your spouse. Celebrate something that your child did. People want to constantly be celebrated. And I'm sure that there's something that you're doing now in your life that maybe you didn't do before. Maybe it's getting water in, right? And being able to create that audience and that traction. And so that's been a big focus for us, because I was like, what is going on? Like, we've never had a weird month like this. And it just boils down to fear. And people are so frozen that they don't know what to do. And they're intimidated by other people's success, that they're sitting and they're watching and saying, well, Terry Ann's being so successful. She must be doing something wrong. So I'm going to get stuck and I'm going to watch that and I'm going to nitpick apart because I feel like I can't do that. And really what it boils down to is our own fear and our own insecurities and getting past those roadblocks and putting your blinders on. And I know Mindy and I have talked about this before, but I'll recommend it to you guys again. Getting your power hour in, something we have been doing on my team, and I think I'll do it twice a month, is a live power hour at 5 a.m. I know Angie got on, Terry Ann got on, Jen Hosak, Shay, we all have been doing it, and it's been helpful because it just gives you that structure and you're starting your day. So those people are saying, well, I just can't seem to fit it in. Like, well, guess what? We're going to have a power hour at 5 a.m. and I'm sure your children aren't up at 5 yet. So that's been helpful. And then also, crap, there was one other thing that Mindy and I have talked about and I wanted to remind you guys. Oh, kill your newsfeed. Get the hell out of your newsfeed. People are spending so much time, including myself, scrolling through your newsfeed, and you're thinking you're being productive, when ultimately where we need to be building those relationships are just like Mindy said, go find 5 friends, make comments, like their posts, ask them questions. That's starting relationships. That's starting the invitation and that forming process. It's not as hard and as complicated as people think. So when you have those people who are joining your teams, or maybe it's you and you're just so, I don't know what to do. You do know what to do. You just have to get out of your own head and help them see, hey guys, this is really simple. Let's dumb it down and get back to the basics, because there's not this big, huge private thing that all the top coaches or, 5-star, 2-star, whoever get to do, diamonds. It's just going back to the basics of the 4 vital behaviors, guys. Like, it's really simple. So I think that was helpful. I would advise doing live And my old people, yeah. I would advise doing live call or live videos in your team because it creates engagement. Maybe say, hey, tomorrow night at 6:00 we're gonna do a live call. Get your teams on. Or this morning I think I did it at like 8. I was like 9:30. I'm doing a live call on the 4 vital behaviors. People are able to ask questions. They're able to engage, and maybe they can't talk like this, but they can type their questions, and that's been really, really helpful. My only thing I wish that live could do when I'm doing it on my profile is I wish I could see exactly who was watching my videos, so I could reach out to them and say, hey, thanks so much. I've seen you show up on a couple of my live videos. I really appreciate your support. So, but I'm doing a live video. Mindy had recommended that I did a diary each day for the ultimate reset. So I've been doing a live every morning of how I feel, and it's been good. Like today alone, I've gotten 5 messages. So, and it's on crazy sale right now, like crazy sale. It's $81 off.
The biggest thing, is having a presence on social media, like I talked about on the call last night, because I keep referencing that Korean adoptee that I found that's a new coach. She's been emailing me back and forth, and it's really kind of reminding me where people start, because she was talking about, she was like, I think she's doing everything right. She's doing her power hour. She's like, when I come home, I do my power hour. I ran a free challenge group. I'm doing another challenge group. I started this program. So she was really doing everything that a new coach or any coach should be doing to see success. But then she said, she was like, I just, I see these other coaches who are doing so much more than me, like I feel like my job holds me back. And I was like, listen, that where there's a will, there's a way. Like I was telling him from the beginning of the call, I had to scarf down my lunch every Tuesday and then run out to my car and do a call with Kobe Mitchell. I would have to use my 15-minute breaks to call people and follow up with them, or saying that where there's a will and there's a way. And that's what I told her. I was like, you may not be able to do as much or devote as much as these people who are, full-time, coaches. But I was like, you can manage these things and balance them, doing exactly what you just told me you're doing, and get there. I said income-wise or growth of a team-wise, it may take you double the time that takes somebody who's a stay-at-home mom. You don't know. And I told her the biggest thing is you definitely don't want to get in the habit of comparing yourself, like Melissa said, because that literally is not productive at all. And that's one thing that I told corporate yesterday is like, I just pretty much unfollowed all the coaches except for coaches on my team, but all the top coaches, because even for me, it was distracting. I love Melanie Mitchell. We're actually really good friends, but like, I don't need to follow her because I already know what my brand is and I know what I want to do. So I think it's great to follow some of these top coaches, but I personally have stopped telling my personally sponsored coaches to follow top coaches, because I think that that's where you see the, oh my God, Lori Stewart got 100 likes or 50 people, commented on Danielle Natoni's thing or whatever. And then people are like, wow, they're so good at this. I'll never be good at it. And I think it's a distraction that I've been just really focusing on, helping people focus on their journey, getting their stories started, their, results, getting their elevator pitch so they can talk to people about it, helping them be involved with the team, with the culture, and focusing on that instead of following top coaches. Because in the beginning, it kind of made sense when we were new coaches, but now we're, a coaching industry that's like 8 years strong, that have people who are like fucking badass at this. Like the people that I mentioned are badass at it. But for these new coaches, they didn't see the struggle. They didn't. I mean, when Danielle was a new, when I became a new coach, she was like a diamond coach, I think. And I remember celebrating her like 8,000 like on her page back then. She didn't have 8,000 when I met her, but I remember at one point, and now she has like, 100,000 or something like that. But so I think it can be so distracting. And the biggest thing is, what I told the new girl was just, she's not on my team, but just stop comparing yourself to other people. And, if you have these coaches too that you've been following, unfollow them. Because it is a distraction. If you really want to focus on a certain area that you want to learn more about, or you're struggling in, go to the top coaches' YouTube channels and watch their training, because all of the top coaches, all of the coaches that are in it to, for life, they'll share their content because they're not greedy. They will share everything. And so you can find the resources there. You don't need to follow them on Facebook and know what they're doing and where they're going. Because I see it all the time. Like I would see certain people on even our team and other teams, like the same people, it's like they were always the first to comment and like on all these top coaches, posts and stuff. And I'm like, well, I'm hoping you're interacting with other people. And they were oftentimes the coaches that were struggling, so I'm not going to pick them out. But the thing is, it obviously can be a distraction. I cut off my news feed with this plugin on Google Chrome, so that when I log into my Facebook, I don't even see my news feed. So when I do go to my news feed, I do it from my phone. So I should try to do my power hour. When I do my power hour directly from my computer, so that I really only see my page and my messages. And, and some people don't get distracted. It's fine. But for me, I get distracted. So that's one thing that I was saying on the team call last night. I'm so glad about the new challenge tracker app in the portal, because it has nothing to do with Facebook. There's absolutely no way you can get distracted by notifications or messages while you're checking into your challenge group. So I don't know. That's it. Melissa, did you have anything to say now that you popped on? Happy anniversary. Can't believe it's been 4 years. It's so crazy. So crazy. I don't have anything else to say. Terry Ann, how are you doing? I think you're muted.
Question. Hello. The challenge tracker app asks for a code. Am I using the right app?
Yeah. Well, that should be your own code. I honestly don't know how that works. I got one emailed to me whenever it first launched.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Do you know where you find it? What your because that's the thing, is you have to have a code to give to your people. I think it might be in the portal.
Are you downloading it from where are you doing it? From the Coach Online office?
No, from App Store.
Okay, so you need to get it from the portal that's where your customers would get it, and then you give them a code, I believe.
Okay, yeah, because it's asking me to ask my coach for one, but my coach hasn't responded, so.
Okay, then that's the side. Go into the, I talked on the team call last night, go to the frequent asked questions in the Coach Online office and type in the Beachbody Challenge Tracker. Actually, it's like one of the top ones when you log in there, and it will give you all the instructions on how to get to the portal, how to download it.
Okay.
I think that's the best thing. I as far as the code, I know that I got an email to me whenever the app launched. So.
Okay, I'll just check into it again. Thank you.
Everything good with you, Leslie?
Yeah, I'm hanging in there. I just wanted to share with you guys that I just had a meeting with a coach this morning. She was expressing some frustration because she's just, getting a lot of no's, and everybody goes through phases where that is. And I shared with her that, pretty much once a month, like Melissa was saying, get back to the basics, pretty much around once a month, I kind of go through something. It's just like the entrepreneur roller coaster, if you've ever read the book, where you just kind of have to reset yourself. And just by me sharing that with her, that I told her that I myself have to kind of reset and get your mind back to square one and back to the basics. That was really easy for her to understand, and released a lot of her frustration. She's like, I'm not quitting. I just need to know how to get rid of my frustrations. I was like, that's where you just go back to the basics. You do the 4 vital behaviors. You get on the national wake up call, and it was really good that she reached out to me. But, just sharing with her that that's something I pretty much have to do once a month also really helped with her.
I think that's the biggest thing, why it's so important to have a relationship with the people that you are onboarding onto your team or even to your challenge group, because if you don't have that relationship and they're struggling, they're not going to go to you like that, and then it's so important to share not just your highlight reel, but all of your failures and screw ups, because then people can identify and know that it's normal. And I like the post that Julie Boris posted in the wall that I shared into Team Relentless about how, and that's what I was talking about. She was like, people, for whatever reason, people think that they suck in this business and they have to move fast. And I know that there are some coaches that have done amazing things in a really short period of time, but everybody has their different time frame, their different reason why, yada, yada, yada. But it, like I've said before, it takes 10,000 hours, they said, to do something to become a pro at it. And like I shared on the call last night, I've been a coach for 4.5 years, and I made a lot of mistakes, and there's still a lot of hitches in my giddy up. And there always will be. But for some reason, we're all trying to shoot for perfection so many times in this industry when this is a business and it's no different than any other business. And most people who start a business usually have experience in that field, because you think you go to college or you get your master's plumber. I always use plumbing. I don't know why, but anyways, you get your master plumber license shit, whatever, or you get your dental hygienist stuff, whatever. You have some experience in it. Most of us as coaches were just normal everyday people who decided we didn't want to be fat anymore, or our doctor told us that our health was on the line, and then we just fell into this and decided we want to become a coach, became passionate about it, and then all of a sudden we expect to be professionals at it and know everything, when really this is a business and we have less experience than most new business owners. So, I think having reasonable goals for it.
Yeah. A great analysis that I learned when I went to go see Eric Worre in San Francisco is he had everybody raise their hands in the audience. Like, how many people in here went to college? And, whoever raised their hands, and they're like, how many people in here paid to go to college? So you paid to go to college for 4 years to learn something that you had no guarantee that you had a job or made any money when you left. This is an opportunity that you're able to create an income while you're learning the craft that you're going to do, right? So he was like, what better opportunity is there out there, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom or if you have another job, to be able to build a business while you're learning what you're doing. On top of that, just encouraging your coaches to go out there and fail, because if you're encouraging them to mess up, that means if they actually did it, they're putting themselves out there. So
I like that analogy. Because I've used that to a degree, but never on that spin. Because I've always told people, like, why, you can sign up for $140 and have a business, but I like what the analogy he had. Because that's true. Like I've worked with so many coaches that I've onboarded in the last couple of years that are my age or older, and they're still paying on college loans, and then they're wanting to do this full time. It just seems ludicrous to me.
Right.
And now I realize that me not going to college was probably the best thing ever. Now I'm trying to talk all my kids out of going to college, because I'm like, stop! You don't need to. You can become an entrepreneur. Don't go into debt just to work for somebody so that you can be their slave. This is a totally different mindset. Crazy though.
Totally.
Lastly, just a reminder for anyone who wasn't on the team call last night, the branding consultant was just talking about how most people market whenever there's scarcity, whether it's funds or Success Club points or prospects. But if you have a constant system that you go and and the Power Hour is part of that system. I'm talking about that if you're doing the comment, the CCQ that I was talking about, and you do the inviting, and you do the hey, how you doing messages, all those things. If you consistently do that, then you're never going to run out of people. And then if you have a certain schedule of how you're marketing whatever it is, then you're never going to run out of people. But if you decide to do a clean eating group, like I've done before, whenever you're like, shit, there's nobody, who do I have? It's the end of the month. I got to have somebody for next month. So I set up a schedule. And I heard this before, and I know that a lot of the top coaches have been doing this way before I started. But I'm going to be doing the clean eating group first week, the first Monday, a coach opportunity call, on the second week, and then a 5-day sneak peek in the third week, and then I'm going to try an online party. Kim Lima posted some stuff, so I'm going to take a lot of some of her information and put a spin on it. But basically, a way to introduce our products to people, and then I'll do like a free 7-day or 14-day challenge group at the very end of the month for the next month. But I highly recommend that you have some sort of pattern the way you do it, and if you set it up for these things in the beginning of the month, then by the end of the month, it gives people a whole month to decide if they want to become a coach or a challenger too. So try to have some be methodical about this, I suppose, so that you're it can set you up for making sure you hit Success Club every month, or whatever. My coach opportunity call, I'm going to actually try the whole PowerPoint thing. I need my Haley to help me do that, but I will need some volunteers because I'm going to do a test run of it, because I don't know, Leslie, are you good with computers? As you worked in the business, I don't know. Robin, I don't know. Does anyone know anything about PowerPoint? Okay, so my thing is like once I get the PowerPoint all together, because in case you don't know, Beachbody has this whole template, this PowerPoint template that basically you just load your team pictures or your shit in it. And if you know PowerPoint, it's easy. It's not easy for me, but Haley does it. But anyways, they have it all together, and I've actually used it because I didn't understand PowerPoint. I actually did screenshots of it and did it all on my own and made it into a 5-day sneak peek, like that's actually in a group. But I want to do the PowerPoint one because I don't know, I just think that I should get a little better now. And I want to do a live call. So I don't know if you guys know this, but like if I open up the PowerPoint on my computer, once I get all that done, and then I do a Zoom call and share screen, is that how you would do it? Do you know? Does that make sense what I'm saying? That's how I would do a PowerPoint and on a call? Okay. Because I know like Shay Stanford and Lindsay Maui and all these people have always had these like screens that they do and you can't even see them. You just hear them talking. And that's kind of what I want because I have notes because it's a long call. It's about the longevity of the company and the history of the company. But I was like, how do you do that? Okay. But I might need somebody to be like my little guinea pig for like 5 or 10 minutes before we actually do it to see like if you can actually see me or if I'm doing it right. Because I am very technology challenged when it comes to that. That's it. Anything else? Anybody? Well, I hope you feel better, Melissa Galmay. I hope your legs and everything work, that you can walk tomorrow. But you might reach out to Chris too, Duffield, because I remember him saying obviously he doesn't have RA, but he had a lot of inflammation from the what is it, ankylosing spondylitis, whatever, the autoimmune disorder. And like, I know that the Ultimate Reset would do some funky things to him. So I don't know, you might ask him. I just remember him talking about that. So anyways, all right, everybody, unless you have anything to say, I'm going to go. Bye.